Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the college basketball slate on Friday, December 11th. We got a big day of basketball games. None of them are going to be like super close or anything, but there are going to be some like really interesting games that we got to get into. Um, if you're new here, make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment. Tell me how you thought it was. Tell me who you think the best play today is. I know who I think the best play today is. He's on the cover. So if you want to get more of my content, I do more content for NBA. That's coming up in like 2 weeks, so I'm really excited for that. I've been working on my projections and all that for that. I'm going to be making this spreadsheet available to the public very soon. It's going to be $5 a month for all the stats you need to know for college basketball and projections every single day. I'm just working on getting a few things finished on that. So, yeah, I think that's really all I got to say. Now let's get into the players, where we are going to start with the UCLA. Gosh, I don't even remember what their team name is. So we're going to start with UCLA against Marquette, where I'm interested in two players, Jules Bernard and Tiger Campbell. Jules Bernard is 4,600 and Tiger Campbell is 7,100. This game has a total of 140, with UCLA being favored by 4.5 points. So we do have a close game with a pretty decent total. Nothing like too high. I mean, there's one game we're going to get into that has a very, very high total, which is going to be a game that we want to attack from pretty much everywhere. But this game, I do like a good bit. Jules Bernard is only $4,600. I'm projected for 30 minutes today. He's a .64 point per minute producer with a usage rate of 18.6%. I mean, not the best producer in the world, but 30 minutes of 4,600 and a pretty good game script is pretty solid if we're looking for some value today. Tiger Campbell with the best hair in college basketball at $7,100. I'm projected for 29 minutes. He's only a .8 point per minute producer, but a 22.3 usage percentage and a 41.1 assist percentage. I mean, he's just one of the best passers in college basketball overall. I think he's a solid play. I think there's better options in this price range, but if you do want to pay up a little bit for a point guard, that's probably not going to be too highly owned. I do think Tiger Campbell is a good option. Now we're going to go to the Iowa players who just shot the lights out of the ball against North Carolina a few days ago. The total on this game is 158, with Iowa being 14-point favorites, so I don't know how competitive it's going to be, but it is still the highest total game on the entire slate today. So I do think we got to attack some of these Iowa players a little bit. 14's not too bad of a in college basketball. Like, I don't think at the worst, I think maybe these starters don't play the last 5 minutes. So I wouldn't really be too worried about it, especially when a lot of the games on today's slate aren't projected to be close and high scoring too. So I'm not too worried about that spread. CJ Frederick's only $4,800. He's 30. I have him projected for 34 minutes. He's only a .69 point per minute producer and 11.6 usage percent player. But I mean, that guy can shoot the lights out of the ball. If he's hitting his threes like he was against Carolina again, he's going to be huge, have a huge game. So I do like going there. He's a little bit risky. He's pretty much kind of a boom or bust play. If he's hitting his threes, he's going to be very good. If he's not going to do anything else. It's pretty much all he really contributes fantasy-wise. So you got to be a little bit wary of that. Joe Wieskamp, I'm also interested at $6,800. I'm projected for 32 minutes. He's a 1.033 point per minute producer, has a usage rate of 23%. He's just another guy. It's pretty much just a shooter, but he does do a little bit more than some of these other guys like Frederick, Bohannon, Wieskamp. They're pretty much just shooters, but Wieskamp does do a little bit more. So I do like him. Another guy that if he gets hot, it's going to be very good. But he's just also like a really good player at $6,800. I don't hate paying for that. I think that's a good option to go to. And then, of course, Luka Garza, who's probably going to win Player of the Year this year. He's $9,900. I mean, you kind of just, if you have the money to pay for him, pay for him. That's pretty much just my thoughts on Luka Garza going forward, unless we're playing like against a really, really good defensive team, which Iowa State is not. Next, we got Nebraska players going up against Creighton. This game has a total of 152. Creighton's 14-point favorite, so big underdogs for Nebraska here, but I'm not really too worried about it. I believe this is a slight pace down spot. I didn't mention that. It's pace down spots for Iowa, and it's neutral for UCLA, but I'm not really too worried about that pace down spot for Iowa. It's still going to be a fast-paced game overall. But this is kind of a pace down spot for Nebraska here going up against Creighton. Lat Main is $5,400. I have him projected for 29 minutes. He's a .82 point per minute producer with a usage rate of 19.4. He's just good value, I think, at that price tag. I don't hate it. I mean, he's not like some great player or anything, but I do think he's fine. And then Delano Banton's pretty good. I have him projected for 33 minutes. He's $7,900 on Draftkings. He's a 1.2 point per minute producer with a usage rate of 21.1 and assist rate 37.6. Definitely my favorite guy to go to on Nebraska. He's a little bit pricey, but he is just a really good fantasy producer, and he's not like too expensive. So, and in a decent spot. So I do think Delano Banton is a good play. Now we're going to go to the Marquette players. They are going to be facing, no, this is not Marquette. This is Iowa State facing off against Iowa. This is a huge pace of spot for them. I mean, Iowa plays at one of the fastest pace in college basketball. They're not the fastest pace on the day, though. On today, though, we will get into that game in a little bit. But regardless, this still looks like a very good spot um, for Marquette. We have Tyler Harris at only $4,600. I'm projected for 30 minutes. He's not the best point per minute producer, but he does have a pretty solid usage rate, 17.5. And at 4,600 for 30 minutes against a pretty fast-paced game, I do like that. That's definitely something I want to go after. So Tyler Harris is definitely someone that's just something I like to go for. And at 4,600, he's interesting to me. Jalen Coleman lands is $5,700. I have him projected for 35 minutes. He's a .85 point per minute producer with a usage rate of 29. That high usage rate is what I really like for that. And only 5,700 in a fast-paced game, playing a lot of minutes with a high usage rate. That's definitely someone I want to go after. Javen Johnson, another guy. I'm going to get 5 Iowa State players. That just shows you how great of a matchup anybody going against Iowa is going to be all year. Anyway, $6,700 for Javen Johnson. I'm projected for 32 minutes. He's a 1.16 point per minute producer. Only usage rate 19.7, but he does have a high assist rate of 35.1. So that's pretty good. I prefer Jalen Coleman Lands. I think that I'd prefer a higher usage rate to the high assist rate, but I do think Javen Johnson is a pretty solid play at 6,700. Solomon Young is just a value play here, $5,300. I have him projected for 30 minutes. He's only a .775 point per minute producer, but a usage rate 24.3 is pretty solid. And then Rosier Bolton, who is their best player at $8,000, I have him projected for 39 minutes. He is a 1.04 point per minute producer, a 16.7 usage rate, and a 27.5 assist rate. I think that's just a great play. If you're looking to pay up that I don't think a lot of people are going to pay for, because there's a lot of big names on this slate. Like, we have Luka Garza, we have the Villanova guys, we have the Creighton guys, the UCLA guys. Like, no one really knows these Iowa State players, and Rosier Bolton's probably going to be really low owned, and he's going to play a lot of minutes in a very, very good matchup. So I do think this is a very good spot for Rosier Bolton and someone that I would like to pay up for. Up next, we're going to go to the Villanova players going against Georgetown. This is going to be a pace-up spot for Villanova. I do like attacking Villanova here today on today's slate. This game is a total of 143. Villanova is 11.5 point favorites. I'm not worried about that. They're not too big of favorites in this game. Total's not amazing, but it's pretty solid. I mean, it's not the 150s that we have. We have two 150s that we're going to get into in a minute. But Colin Gillespie, but Villanova's still in a good spot. Colin Gillespie, I have for 37 minutes. He's their starting point guard. He's a .84 point per minute producer. He has a usage rate of 21.8 and an assist rate of 20.5. Just a good player. I think he's a good play. I don't hate going there. Justin Moore, $6,200. I have him projected for 37 minutes. He's only a .775 point per minute producer, but he does have a usage rate of 28.6. I think there's probably better plays in this price range, but I do think he is a good option. Like, I think I'd prefer just to pay up 500 more for Javen Johnson, or we're going to talk about Bishop in a second. But I do think Justin Moore's fine if you want to go there, but there's definitely better options around him. Caleb Daniels is only 4,400. I have him projected for 33 minutes today. I think that's a great play for price. I think it's a good value to have. Only a .7 point per minute producer and a usage rate of 20.4, but he's still $4,400 and he's going to play a lot of minutes, so I think that's definitely someone to look for. Jeremiah Robinson Earl is $8,100. He is Villanova's best player. I have him for 33 minutes. He is a 1.0, pretty much a 1.1 point per minute guy with a usage rate of 25.2. This guy's probably going to the NBA next year. He's just a really good player, really good forward. I do think this is a great play at $8,100. I'd like his matchup against Georgetown. Definitely another guy I'd like to pay up for. But like I said, like we just talked about Rosier Bolton, like these Villanova guys are going to be popular, right? Because everyone knows Colin Gillespie, everyone knows Jeremiah Robinson Earl. I think they're good plays, but if I'm only paying $100 less for Bolton, who honestly is a very similar point per minute producer with a way higher assist rate than Jeremiah Robinson Earl, and he's going to play more minutes, like, and in a better matchup, like that's what I'm saying. Like this guy Bolton is not going to be owned, and he has as much upside as anybody else on the slate. Well, maybe not Luka Garza, but pretty much everyone but Luka Garza on the slate, so I do think that's a good option. But Jeremiah Robinson Earl's good. I'm not going to tell you not to play him. He's in a good spot. We're going to go to Creighton going against Nebraska. We already talked about this game. Has a 152 total. Creighton's favored by 14. Marcus Zagorowski, $8,300. He's one of the best players in the country. I have him for 35 minutes. He's a 1.04 point per minute producer with a usage rate of 23.3 and an assist rate of 36.2. I really like that. But the guy I really like on Creighton today is Christian Bishop, $6,200. I only have him for 29 minutes, but he has a 1.5 point per minute. He is a 1.5 point per minute producer with a usage rate of 28.4. These are the type of guys I like to go for. He's a big guy. He's going to get rebounds. He's not handling the ball or anything, but he just gets rebounds and putbacks. And he should be able to handle a pretty easy Nebraska team right here. So this is definitely one of my favorite plays on the slate overall is Christian Bishop. When we go look at the pace of this game, it's a nice pace of spot for Creighton as well. Like Nebraska plays at a pretty fast pace. So Christian Bishop, definitely one of my favorite plays on the day. then Damian Jefferson's just another value guy at $5,000. I have him for 35 minutes today. He's a .85 point per minute producer. Usage rate of 18.8 and assist rate of 14.5. Just a good player to have. Nice value. Now we're going to go to Seton Hall, where this Seton Hall St. John's game is that game with a massive total. That's going to be close. I was talking about 153 total for Seton Hall St. John's, and Seton Hall is favored by 5.5 points. So we're going to have a pretty close game with a pretty high total here. So that pretty much makes me like, especially everyone on Seton Hall, because this is also going to be a very high pace-up spot for them. St. John's plays the highest pace out of any team on the slate today, so Seton Hall is in a major pace-up spot. We'll start with the guy I put on the cover, Sandro Mamakalavishvili. I don't know if I said his name right, but he's really good. Loves watching him and Miles Powell play for the past 2 years at Seton Hall together, and now it's just him, and he's been doing really good. I have for 36 minutes today. He has 1.17 point per minute producer, usage rate is 27.9, assist rate is 16.7, rebound rate of 12. He's doing a lot of things out there. He's too cheap. $7,600 is just too cheap for him, in my opinion. For the best player on the team, the highest usage player on the team, the highest point per minute player on the team in a very fast pace of spot, I do think this is a great play. I would lock him in. He would be the first guy to plug in my lineup today. Would be Sandro Mamakalavishvili. I think he's a great option. That's why he's on the cover, and that's who I want to get to a lot today. Jared Rowan, I'm also like at $8,200. I have him for 33 minutes. He's a starting point guard, .99 point per minute producer, 23.5 usage rate, 13.5 assist rate. I think he's also a great option. I think both of them are very good plays. And to Cal Molson at $4,500, I have him for 29 minutes. He's a .8 point per minute producer. I like that a lot. $4,500 is going to play 29 minutes. I think that's a great value as well. So him and Sandro are two guys I very much like, especially if I'm playing cash. But even tournaments, I don't really play cash as much for college basketball as I do for other sports. But I do think both of them are very good options. And then Shavar Reynolds, he's another guy I definitely like getting to $6,700. Actually, he's the point guard. Roden's the shooting guard. Anyway, I have him for 29 minutes. He's a .8 point per minute producer as well, 32 assist rate. So I think he's a good option also. And then Pasha Alexander is the only guy I'm really interested on St. John's, just because this is going to be a huge pace down spot for them. I think a lot of guys are a little bit overpriced on St. John's, but Pasha Alexander isn't. I have him for 32 minutes, $6,400, .95 point per minute producer, usage rate 17.6, and assist rate 22.2. I think he's a good option. And now we'll go to the Marquette guys going up against UCLA. This game has a total of 140, UCLA 4.5 point favorite, so going to be a close game. DJ Carton, let me go tell you the pace first. This is like a neutral pace spot. I think it's like barely a slight pace down spot for Marquette, but nothing to really worry about. But DJ Carton, I have him for 5,200. I have him for 32 minutes. He is a .96 point per minute producer, a usage rate 24.2, and an assist rate 23.9. Those are all good rates to look at $5,200. I think this is a good spot. Same thing with Jamal Cain. He's $5,600. I have him for 31 minutes. He's a 1.1 point per minute producer. I just think these guys are good value plays. I think Marquette players were priced a little bit too cheap, so I definitely want to get some of them. And then we'll close out the UNC Charlotte guys going up against App State. So UNC Charlotte, Jameer Young and Jordan Shepard, 38 and 36 minutes. They're in the 6K range. They're just solid options. I wouldn't think they're great. I think there's other better players in the 6K range than these guys because they're not as high point per minute producers, but I need to get some exposure to this game. 26.5 usage rate for Jameer Young and 22.2 assist rate, and a usage rate of 28.9 for Jordan Shepard, and a 28.9 assist rate as well. So these two, they pretty much do everything for this team. I think you can get them. No one's going to play UNC Charlotte players today, but I just don't think they're the best options. I don't have anyone from App State because their rotations is a disaster. And then the Kansas-Omaha game doesn't interest me at all. It's a 143 total, and Kansas is favored by 24 points. It's going to be a blowout. I don't think the Kansas guys get a ton of minutes, and Omaha guys I'm really not interested in at all. So I didn't really put that game. But I think that's really all I got to say. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to this channel, leave a comment, turn on notification bell. All that stuff really helps me grow. And I'm going to be recording NFL after this, so if you're into that, be sure to stick around for that one as well.